The numbers, as has been said here earlier, are very encouraging. We are seeing opportunities of growth, both in exports from Kenya and also in the business opportunities that are being undertaken by Italian business entities. We now have close to 50 major Italian business entities doing business and operating out of Nairobi. We have some of the largest reserves of raw materials, and we want a win-win partnership. Resources from Africa, human resource in Africa, technology, and financing from Europe. That becomes a collaboration, a win-win outcome. If you have raw materials in Africa and human capital in Africa, you have technology and financing from Europe or elsewhere, then that collaboration brings out a win-win outcome. So this evening, I want to encourage the private sector here that there are opportunities, and we are committed as an administration in Kenya to working with the private sector. We have made it our central pillar. The private sector in Kenya can tell you that every opportunity that we have that can be undertaken by the private sector, we do not waste time as the public sector. We get the private sector to do it. I will leave you with one phrase, finally. It is said that fortune favors the bold, but global markets reward the prepared. Kenya is not only bold, we are also prepared. So we want to work with you and see to it that we turn every interest, every intent, and every opportunity into something concrete for projects, programs, and businesses. The numbers, as has been said here earlier, are very encouraging. We are seeing opportunities of growth, both in exports from Kenya and also in the business opportunities that are being undertaken by Italian business entities. We now have close to 50 major Italian business entities doing business and operating out of Nairobi. We just opened the office the other day of MedO Foundation that will again continue to build synergies between Kenyan companies and Italian companies as we look at the opportunities that exist for investment. And the coming together of the business communities of these two countries, one from Africa and the other from Europe, not only opens opportunity for Kenya and Italy, but it also opens opportunity for European market to the Africa continental market. So when you see an opportunity in Kenya, it's not just in Kenya. It's actually a door to the East African community, a population of 330 million people, to COMESA, which is a population of 680 million people, and to the African continent, a population of 1.4 billion people with a GDP of $3.7 trillion. So as you sit in this room, there is huge opportunity for your businesses, both in Kenya to the African continent and in Italy to the European market. Aside from the opportunities that have been mentioned by the Kenya Investment Authority, Kenya opens doors to a very big market, present and future. Just for your information, by 2050, a quarter of the world's population will be living in Africa. By 2050. So if you are looking for market for your products, this is the time to have a footprint in Africa. And this is the opportunity for you to set it up in Kenya, because it will serve the present and it will also guarantee the future. And I believe that this is the opportunity for you if you're thinking about market and if you're thinking about the future. That is where the future is, and that's where the future market is. And just for your information, Africa has been fragmented for a long time, but today we have built a trade infrastructure around the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that consolidates the 1.4 billion people in the African continent into one single market. One more reason why I believe your investment is the right place in Kenya is that we have one of the best human capital anywhere in the world. If you want hardworking people, you will find them in Kenya. If you want intelligent, people, you will find them in Kenya. And we have one of the best education systems anywhere in the world, and we keep working with the best. The reason why this afternoon I was discussing with Prime Minister Meloni on the need to collaborate in matters research, innovation, science between Kenya, and we've just signed an instrument to facilitate greater collaboration in the space of science, research, innovation with Italy. We are also tapping into Italian equipment to train our technical training students so that we sharpen their skills and make sure they are ready for business. So we have a solid, and I'm very proud of the Kenyan human capital. If you ask any company, any global company, they will tell you when they have a choice to hire a Kenyan and somebody else, they will hire a Kenyan.
I took part in the meetings of the President and Prime Minister with President Mattarella and the Prime Minister Meloni. Two important, very important meetings that marked the strengthening of the political and economic relations between two countries that have always been friends, and they wish to keep working together to grow their economies and provide positive answers to Italian and Kenyan citizens. Very positive meetings, which ended by signing an important agreement that will pave the way to more meetings and more deals, both political and economic agreements that will strengthen the friendship between our two countries. Mr. President, I really wish to stress to what extent for our government and for Italians as a whole, Africa is a fundamental continent, is a key continent. It is the continent which is in front of us, overlooking the Mediterranean, a continent that has always shown to be very attentive and has always shown a great interest for Italy and for Europe. So we cannot disregard this request for friendship and the attention that the continent has shown vis-à-vis us. It would be a very serious political and strategic mistake not to consider Africa as a key partner for us. I've been doing this since I was a European Commissioner for Transport and Industry. And I'm doing this today as a Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Trade. We believe in the democracy of growth. This is a book that has just been published by my ministry that deals with Destination Africa. And this is a book published by our Nairobi embassy that is devoted to Kenya, to explain and to invite Italian businesses, large, medium, and small businesses to look at your country with greater and greater attention, together with the African continent as a whole. Dear Mr. President, you will certainly know that the headquarters of the Italian television is in Nairobi, which shows that Nairobi and Kenya are for us a major reference point, and we wish to be so even more. So a bridge also to talk to other African countries for the role that you play.
I'm sure you're all familiar with the famous phrase that Rome was not built in a day. And whoever made that statement was, in my view, looking at the resilience of Italy, the hard task that it takes to put up a nation, how meticulous we must be. And indeed, even as we go through the streets of Rome, we can still see the cobblestone that was placed there one at a time, and the very magnificent structures that have stood the test of time. So, equally, the relationship between Kenya and Rome was not built in a day. It has taken 60 years of very strong partnership and collaboration between our two countries. And that is why we are here, so that we can look at the next phase of our partnership.
I confirm that my ministry's singular role is to convert interest to tangible opportunities, and the investment promotion agency, Invest Kenya, will be deployed to fully follow up on all the leads that were generated both in Nairobi and also here. Indeed, this forum has provided a valuable platform for connecting investors from Kenya, institutions, business people, and also translating dialogue into tangible opportunities. We are particularly encouraged by the commitment shown by both public and private sectors to advance mutually beneficial partnerships. Distinguished guests, it is also my distinguished honor to announce the just signed MOU between our Equity Bank and CDP Bank, where over 40 million will be availed for business people participating in this forum, and also to help strengthen the trade, because a lot of times when the trade deals are signed, without the necessary financial infrastructure to support it, we may not see it take off. So this is one area where we are both signing the trade agreement, but also giving the facilitation necessary. And I want to congratulate the two banks for that very critical stage.
Under the Mattei Plan, the Italian Expo Group presented an opportunity to be able to have the largest MICE project, that is meeting, conferences, and investment. And Your Excellency, we have told them that Kenya has the right facilities for purposes of investment, and Kenya is going to open the state-of-the-art and the largest conference facility in Africa, the Bomas of Kenya, and I do welcome them. In partnership with the Italian Chamber, we're organizing an international business expo that we are going to hold in 8th, 7th, and 9th of October 2026, this year, in the next 6 months. And we are going to do it in Bomas of Kenya. The chairperson of Kenya Export Promotion Agency presented the products that we are already exporting to Italy and the European Union in terms of coffee, tea, tropical fruits, leather products, and we have one of our members from Alfarama textile here who has done it for the last 20 years. The CEO for Kenya Investment Authority, Dr. Mwendwa, presented several investment opportunities in the public-private partnership, the National Infrastructure Fund, the private sector investments, and the regional investments in Kenya. On the breakout sessions, we had very fantastic and deeper conversation on opportunities in energy, where the Ministry of Energy presented opportunities to take Kenya from the current 3,000 megawatts to 10,000 megawatts. And one of the companies has already committed to invest in Kenya, that is ENI, especially in renewable energy. In tourism, agriculture, quite a number of discussions were done, both by the Kenyan side and the Italian side. I would want to welcome our partners, the Italian Chamber and the business people, to Kenya, being the 6th largest economy in Africa with a GDP of 136 billion. The private sector contributes over 80% of the employment and 70% of its GDP. We drive 60% of the investment, so you can be able to trust us as a local investors, and we welcome you to bridge the gap to bring foreign direct investment. We are open, we are ready, and bankable for investment. Your Excellency, the President Ruto, thank you for leading from the front, opening the doors for Italy-Kenya business, and placing the private sector at the center of your economic transformation agenda. To the government of Italy and to the Prime Minister, thank you for your partnership and welcoming us through recognizing Kenya as a priority African partner.
Thank you very much.
The products that we are already exporting to Italy and the European have done it for the last 20 years. On the breakout sessions, we had very fantastic, and one of the companies has already committed to the sector contributes over 80% of employment and 70% of investors, and we welcome you to bridge the gap to bring
in order to further gain counterparties. We act as a leverage of resources, insurers, but also exporters and banks. We, several years ago, purchased an equity participation in TD, which is in this respect. Our idea is to try to engage large Italian companies, facilitate access of Italian SMEs towards
il macchinario agricolo offre alla Kenya un elemento di contemporaneo importante proprio per imparare gli anni hanno fatto il parto proprio per dare un quadro strutturato alle nostre attività economiche.
Essere politicamente più efficaci nelle esportazioni ma anche nelle importazioni. 200 milioni di euro che con orgoglio dico che è stata già tutta nei giorni scorsi a avere la validazione di un fondo in Kenya. Questo è molto importante in Kenya e in tutti
strumenti di advisory, rivolti in particolare per oltre 2,2 miliardi di euro, principalmente, anzi esclusivamente in Africa, 80 milioni di euro di prestiti concessionali al governo, a sostegno di progetti nei settori della sanità. E guardando al futuro, CDP sta concentrando il proprio impegno su 2 aree strategiche.